I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
And indeed, we're all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's jump right in. I'm thrilled to be joined by Amy Schultz, who is a former commercial banker who has risen to the top of the marketing industry. Amy has advised coaches, multi-million-dollar corporation startups, and teaches over 700 marketing students how to land accounts with her bigger, better, faster strategy. And I'm thrilled to have Amy join us on Get Down to Business. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Shalom. I'm very happy to be here.
Absolutely. I love to get to know the person behind the microphone. I know I just mentioned your very short bio over there that you formerly in commercial banking, but tell us a little of your backstory and how it's led you into this image and reputation that you have as the go-to marketing expert.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. So my background is in finance, both on, and I've had a couple different iterations in the finance world, both from on the mortgage side prior to the real estate crash, in commercial and business banking, and working with mostly manufacturers in my portfolio and helping them truly keep solvent in the crazy world we live in. And, you know, there's been a lot of I'll call it business owners, entrepreneurs that have phenomenal ideas, have phenomenal services, products, cogs, pieces, and they know how to build that service or piece. But the one thing that I saw and why I moved over to the side of the marketing was truly they were missing how to truly get attention, gain visibility with the marketing digital pieces that we have in front of us today that are mostly free. And I'm speaking not only from an entrepreneurial standpoint and, people who are very used to utilizing the digital platforms that we use, but I work with many manufacturers who truly have an older school mentality that don't realize the things that they truly have at their fingertips that can literally tip the scale and jump their revenues because it all equates to visibility in front of their ideal customer profile. So I moved from the financial side over to the front end side because I saw so many of not only my portfolio clients, but my financial colleagues have great businesses, but not know how to gain business.
Oh, wow. Again, I'm chatting with Amy Schultz, go-to marketing expert. And I know, Amy, you've been featured on CBS, The Telegraph, BBC News, The Huffington Post, Sky News, and Fox News channels. So certainly all over the place, making a difference in teaching folks on how to really be quite successful, not only in marketing, but also in the world of sales. And on that note, I'm actually curious, from your perspective, what is the difference between marketing and sales, and does it require a different skill set?
That's a really good question because I came over from, even though I have a financial background, truly it's all sales. You have to continue to bring in new sales opportunities, deposits, and loan opportunities to the bank or the organization that you represent. I feel that there's a definitive difference, and folks that have a sales hat on, have a sales role, they want that opportunity and that lead typically teed up for them so they can go in and close the business. They're good at closing. Then there's people on the marketing side who are typically good at how are we going to attract the right person and literally walk them through our sales process without them getting lost, without them jumping off and going to competition. So I truly feel that there is a definitive line of a separator of a typical person of what they feel comfortable in doing. And the reason why I'm here doing sort of both sides is truly people have said that I'm a little bit of an anomaly. I have both right side and left brained. And so I can work, both logically in addition to creatively. So I have seen the disconnect from folks that just focus on one aspect and they don't know how to do the other. So what I truly try to do to marketers, and now I'm up over 1,000 marketers that I help train to understand not only marketing, but understand their prospect. I now help them sort of bridge that gap from a sales and a lead, I'll call it a lead generation, or getting interest, people engaged in the process of whatever the business that we're trying to attract them to. Hopefully that made sense.
It does indeed. So we've been chatting about marketing and sales with Amy Schultz. And Amy, on that same sort of note about sales and of course marketing, I've been hearing more and more, especially in this sort of virtual world, which has become so much more of the norm, that every job is about sales. Everybody needs to have the knack for sales if they want to succeed. Would you agree with that statement? And, are people trainable? Ultimately, if somebody doesn't have that experience, how do you, Amy Schultz, teach them how to become a little bit more successful in that area?
That's a really good question. The reality is, does sales have to do with every single part of business? Yes, a little bit. Do you have to be a seasoned salesperson in order to be comfortable in that role? No, not necessarily. And what I have done in the marketing sphere of the folks that I help sort of engage and teach is I helped them understand that we as marketers don't just hide behind a screen. It's our job to literally go toe to toe with the business owner and share with them what you would want to know as a business owner from what's out there from your digital visibility perspective. In addition to the biggest thing that is the biggest aha moment for the clients that I work with is showing them their competitor encroachment and showing them what their competition is doing, not only on just their website, which everybody tends to focus on, but all of these free platforms that they don't realize they can get visible in. And we show them what their competition is doing, which helps them then with their strategic plan and where they want to go. The shortest time for them to make a big revenue impact, we put that in a strategic plan from a marketing side that'll help the business owner, the leadership in a manufacturer, help them truly get to understand what this digital landscape looks like, because they all have a false sense of reality when it comes to understanding, in the real world compared to digital. And we try to really make the business owner understand digital is your world now. And if you're not playing in that world, you need to. And here's what's going on in it. Now you know that. Let's create the plan that's literally going to get you to the least point of resistance the fastest and have you have a return on investment as quickly as possible.
100%, and no doubt all of our listeners are vigorously nodding their heads, but also I can almost hear the anxiety swelling up over these radio waves when we talk about marketing, when we talk about sales, when we talk about sort of working with prospects and closing deals and so on. So I know, Amy, you've worked with, as you said, over 1,000 folks in this world of marketing and sales. What would your advice be? How do we push through that anxiety to meet your prospects with confidence?
Very good question. And here's the reality. I was the most anxious, shy child ever, and I still have anxiety. But the reality is you don't have to go into any type of a sales pitch to be able to close business. The one thing that I see from a false sense of what I should be doing in a sales position is that I need to sell something that I feel that I'm not apt to sell, right? And they get that fear associated with it. The reality is, from my perspective and a sales perspective, is number one, you need to understand what your prospect scenario is and understand what their current landscape looks like and where they want to go. And if there's any things that are tripping them up right now to get to that. Number two is be extremely transparent and helpful with helpful little tips that can literally tip that scale a little bit for them right off the bat. Get their trust and share with them that you're not trying to pull the wool over their eyes or pull one over on them, but you really want to help truly fill that gap that they have. So in that aspect, sales is truly not sales. You're literally closing the gap of the hole that you've just identified that they truly need. And some business owners and leadership, this is the biggest, another big aha moment that we get, is they truly think that they need something. And when we do our research and we show them their existing visibility in addition to what their competition is doing, this is where we sort of flip the script on what they thought that they needed and literally show them what they truly need in the short term, 30, 60, 90 days, and then moving out up to the 5-year plan. So there's a lot of misconceptions of truly what they think they need in the digital world compared to what is actually out there and what would get them to their goal the quickest.
Absolutely. I've been chatting with Amy Schultz, go-to marketing expert. Amy, you've shared a lot, and I want to make sure all of our listeners know how they could get a hold of you and your team to learn more about marketing and hear more of your story. Can you share your website and contact information?
Absolutely. The website is LeadScene, LeadSceen.com. If you're a small business owner, feel free to reach out there. If you are a marketer or a digital marketer or any type of marketing person that wants a little bit of help into what is happening today, we do have a private Facebook group for marketers. It's called Client Crush, the Power Close Secrets for Digital Marketing.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining us, Amy.
Thank you
That's
so
a
much,
wrap.
Ron.
We'll be right back and get down to business.